A group of annoying college kids get killed on spring break one at a time. It's a tale as old as time. We watched Lake Fear 2, The Swamp. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Hey, what's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Hey guys, how's it going? We went to the swamp.
Yeah, we're about to get some mud butt.
Big time.
Big mud butt.
Big time.
Swamp ass.
Big time swamp ass. Because we watched Lake Fear 2.
Yeah.
The Swamp.
The Swamp.
The Swamp.
This movie was released on November 12th of 2016. But before we go into the more details, Aaron, I want to tell all the fine listeners about all of our little sites and where they can find us and follow us.
Sure. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @SoBadIt'sScary. And of course, you can always find us at horriblehorrorpodcast.com. Again, that is horriblehorrorpodcast.com. I said horrible horror twice.
You did say that.
Horriblehorrorpodcast.com. That's where you can also listen to our episodes. So you can check out our, you can stream our episodes there. You can download them, leave comments, like the episodes, let us know how we're doing. And of course, you can always listen to us on iTunes, and you can listen to us on Podbean. Please give us a 5-star rating. Let us know what we like. If you like a certain episode, give us a shout out. Give us some ideas. We're looking for some feedback here. So
yeah, that's really the biggest way to support us right now is just rate and review us on iTunes with the 5 stars. Get that up. That helps us out the most. If you have any movie suggestions you'd like us to do, or you might try to make us suffer, feel free to send those our way as well. Always looking for more ideas.
Yeah, because we suffered through this one.
Yes, we did.
God damn.
This movie is also known as the Everglade Killings.
Is it really?
Yeah, originally. Yeah. And I kind of wonder if ITN, who distributes this, made them change the name of it when they picked it up for distributing rights, because they also owned they distributed the first one, Lake Fear.
So there is
1.
a Lake Fear.
Well, this is Lake Fear 2, so I would imagine there's a Lake Fear 1. Yes.
Yeah, but okay, all right, yeah. But it had nothing to do technically with the first one, I guess, then, huh?
No, not at all.
Weird.
It was written by Ashley Billington, Sean Therian, Jesus Rodon, and Ben Wilder, and directed by Ben Wilder, who also did the music and was a producer and a few other things. So he was Mr. Do-It-All for this movie.
Who wrote it?
Ashley Billington, Sean Therian, Jesus Rodon, and Ben Wilder.
4
people wrote this.
4 quote-unquote writers.
Yeah.
Writers.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so you can find this on Amazon. Luckily it's a free rental if you have Prime, so you can watch it for free on Amazon.
Woo.
Same with the first one too. Same with Lake Fear 1. So for as far as the cast goes, pretty much every single of the people in this movie, this is their first and only movie so far.
Do they work at the same strip club?
You would think so. You do get cameos by Scream Queen, Hall of Famer Linnea Quigley. She plays a bartender. And she's looking rough in this movie.
Oh, she's looking swamp-tastic.
Yeah.
Holy.
And for you porn aficionados, you do get another cameo by Sean Reese. He's a bartender as well. He came to fame in the porn world as the original MILF hunter on the internet. He was the MILF hunter porn star. Also on sites as Captain Stab'em and Cum Fiesta. He was the main guy in a lot of those.
So was this the guy who did the wet t-shirt contest?
No. He was the other bartender with the long curly hair and the stupid hat.
Oh.
Now, there is another porn star. We had not one but two.
Whoa!
One male, one female. One of the actors, Kelsey Monroe is in this movie as well, but she's just basically a glorified extra in a hot body contest. She doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Other than that, the cast is, like I said, a bunch of people who've never really done anything. This is their one and done, or maybe not. Not gonna say done, but this is their one so far.
Their maiden voyage.
Yeah, this is their busting of their cherry.
Yeah, their version experience.
Yes.
Should we be gentle?
No. Because the first time it hurts. That's what they say. It hurts the first time.
It does. And I want to tear this apart.
So some things I want to mention before we go into the movie. Again, for some reason, it is called Lake Fear, and there is no fucking lake in this movie at all. No lake, whatever. It does have a swamp, so that's fair enough. So I don't know why they just didn't call it like Swamp Fear or just the swamp, but Lake Fear with no lake in the movie at all, it makes zero sense. No. Speaking of which, I did actually go back and watch Lake Fear 1.
Oh, you did?
Because I wanted to see if it tied in at all or what.
In any way, shape, or form did it.
Zero connection. Now, Lake Fear 1 started off decently, but turned into a crazy pile of nonsense and bullshit. That I thought about doing that movie, but that movie would be impossible for us to talk about in the way on this show. Because it's so much nonsense. Like, you don't know what is happening at any given time. It's just all over the place.
Huh.
And it's like what's happening, what's real, what's not real.
Okay. Is it like Dream World, alternate universe?
Sort of. Like, it is it's bonk. It's nonsense. It's just nonsensical garbage. And also, there's no fucking lake in that one either. Lake Fear, no lake. No lake. They really need to come up with a better title.
No fear either, just dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
And confusion.
Lake Dissatisfaction.
That title doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, I guess it doesn't. All right, so Lake Fear 2, we open with these two dirty, blood-covered college girls hiding on like the porch of some old building, and they see a rowboat out, and a little.
It's dark outside.
It's really dark.
Yeah.
So they make, we're gonna make a run for it. As soon as they reach it, girl 1 just gets shot through the neck with a fucking crossbow bolt by this guy doing his best like Daryl Dixon impersonation while dressing up as Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2 because he's just wearing like a fucking burlap sack over his head. Yeah. Now, instead of running or getting her ass into the boat to try to escape, girl 2 just sits there crying.
Just stroking her dead friend's hair.
Yeah.
Going,
yeah.
And you can tell right off the bat, this is like one of those, like they're already covered in blood.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make an escape. So they know they're being chased, like something horrible is happening. And they're just, the one girl just stops. So they're trying to make a runaway. They're trying to get away. They've already experienced something horrible. And you think the one girl would be like, well, shit, sorry, girl, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if they are like really good friends or whatever, it's still like self-preservation. Like, oh shit, she's dead.
Yeah.
I gotta get her. I can mourn later, but I gotta go. But nope, she's like, I'm just gonna sit here and
she's done.
And she's like, because another guy too or something like that, another guy just comes up behind her, slits her throat. She's dead. That's it. And then we cut to like this news reporter on location reporting on this year's Burmese python capturing contest.
Woohoo!
Where basically any random Joe Schmo can win up to $500 for capturing the snakes.
And this took place in Miami. Like, they were reporting from Miami.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So also, as a side note, she mentioned that this also happens to be the location where college girls went missing.
Like, that's not the top story.
Exactly. That's why I said I called the phone. Like, first of all, I would think the missing girls would trump snake capturing contest in the headline report. But yeah, because missing people should not be a footnote in anybody's story. And second, yes, the Burmese python is an invasive species in the Everglades, so that's true.
So it kills other natural flora and fauna.
Yeah, it's invasive. Yeah. It shouldn't be there. But the removal of them is handled by like park rangers and other various animal conservation and preservation groups and like herpetologists and not like random drunken idiots that just come out to like, let's win some money. It's fucking Florida. Sorry, Florida, but there's gonna be a bunch of drunk like methods like, ain't gonna catch just some snakes,
just some swamp people running around.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Simpsons episode where the snake thumping. It was like a Springfield tradition.
Yeah, the snake.
Where they just snake whacking is like whacking. Marge's like ooh. They get Barry White to come and play music to rescue all their snakes. Anyway, that's a Simpsons episode.
It's a good. I forgot about that episode. So the reporter ends the report saying that the local police have called off the search for the missing girls after only 2 weeks. Like, are you shitting me? 2 weeks? That's it?
Like, call it.
They're done. You know what? We're tired of.
They're gator food.
Yeah, 2 fucking weeks. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is insane.
I'd be pretty pissed if I was a parent.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'd be suing or something. Like 2 weeks? Oh. So now we cut to our main group of one-dimensional college kids on spring break, hanging out on the beach.
Holy shit. And I gotta admit, I didn't know any of their names.
I'm glad you brought that point up.
Because
that's what
I know like
into.
1 or 2 names at the very end. At the very end,
yeah. Because of that, like I said, pretty much trying to keep track of these names, it's pretty much useless, but for our sake of sanity and for you listeners, I'm going to do my best to explain who we got here. So first off, we have Tyler. He's like the douche bro with the ripped body. His body is impressive, I'll give him that. Then we have Derek, who's douche bro light. He's like
more
Robin.
slim.
He's like Robin to Tyler's Batman. And then we have Marcus, the black guy. Patrick, who's like the really skinny guy who's kind of shy at least in the opening scene.
Yeah.
Then we have Tony with an eye, the main girl, and Derek's girlfriend. Tanya, the black chick who's also dating the black guy. Anna, who I believe is the tall brunette who's dating Tyler. Then we have Nicole, just random girl. Leah, the blonde girl with smart tits. And then Jocelyn, who is just basically another girl, but she's the one I think wears like the G string for it. That'll make sense for Aaron, but nobody else.
Yeah. It's they never say their names really.
Except for like really quick and once or twice. It's really hard. Yeah. It's trying to keep up their names is pretty much useless.
Yeah.
So we learned that Patrick likes Nicole. I think it's Nicole.
Right.
And
Who knows?
And she likes him back, but she wants to play hard again, bust his balls for a bit. So Tyler tells Patrick that if he wants her, then he has to step up and take her. No, that's nice guy bullshit. Like, no poetry writing bullshit.
Write that poetry with your dick.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Write that poetry with your dick.
Kind of like that line, actually.
I will say that. Yeah.
Stupid.
It's so stupid and douchey, but it fit. I liked it. So they all end up going back to this beach bar for drinks and the hot body contest. So now we basically get 2 minutes of like these 4 girls in booty shorts just twerking for the camera.
Yeah.
That's it. Like 2 minutes. It's
like
twerking.
2 minutes solid.
It's
of
like
just
a goddamn rap video that just turned into.
With no rap. It's just people going, woo!
Make that booty clap. Like, girls just twerking. That's all it is. For like 2 minutes. And next comes the wet t-shirt portion of the contest. The group convinces Leah, the blonde in the group,
girl,
with like the smallest tits too in the group,
to
join the contest.
She likes playing with him, I guess.
And so the other girls, they all take off their bras or bikini tops underneath their shirts, and the dudes act like fucking animals in this scene. Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like we were all in college once, but man, I never acted like that. That's insane.
It's not like you've seen spring break videos.
Yeah.
There's usually like really big crowds and big events, and this is like in a swamp bar. You know, this is
supposed to be like, I don't know, like Miami or Fort Lauderdale or something. It's like a beach town. It's a nice beach, and it's a beach bar. And I get that. Okay, if it is one supposed to be spring break too, yeah, almost every bar is gonna be packed. But even then, like, not every bar. It's not like Mardi Gras where there's gonna be massive crowds everywhere. But still, this was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just it was so bad. It's like, why even have this contest when there's like 10 people,
12
in the bar,
people in there,
and like almost all of them are like this one group. Of kids.
Yeah.
And then there's like these 4 other girls that just happen to be there. That's what I was saying.
Just happen to be there.
Yeah, there's nobody else there. There's no reason to even have this contest. So somehow Leah manages to win the whole contest. Even like I said, she's the flash-chested girl in the group. And Leah,
you're really hammering that point home.
I'm sorry, you're right. I probably should. I stopped, but it's supposed to be a hot body contest and a wet t-shirt. Normally, those kind of lend themselves to
it's
girls.
just basically tits and ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't have tits, what you're having.
Yeah.
Anyway, But anyway, so Leah wins a $100 bar tab. So after the contest, the group hangs out at the bar for a bit, drinking and talking. Tyler and Derek are talking with the bartenders, like I said, played by Linnea Quigley and the MILF Hunter.
And I really hope she was trying to swamp it up here because, woo, she was just looking. I didn't recognize her.
No, yeah, it took me a minute too. Yeah,
like I saw her name in the credits. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Lena Quigley's in it, and then I'm like, oh, and then it like hit me in the back. I was like, oh crap, that was Lena Quigley because she wasn't in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I hate
that was the scariest part.
Yeah, she's looking really rough. So Anna gives Tony a pregnancy test, and the two of them go off to the bathroom to use it.
She said she's been. Oh yeah, my period. I thought my period was gonna come, but it didn't come. She's like, seriously? He's like, yeah, it's been like 3 months.
2 months. I'm like, what? Yeah, it turns out Tony's preggers, so there's that. The bartenders tell Tyler and Derek about the Everglades and the snake contest.
They're going on saying, we come here every time, we do the same thing, same town, same party, it's
same
great.
Sluts.
Yeah, it's great. And they're just like, do something different. Go to the Everglades.
Yeah, and so they're like, yeah, and you know, and that's in the MILF Hunter's like, yeah, you can win this. And they're both, and Linnea, they're both like, yo, there's a snake catching. You can win $500 per every snake you catch or something like that. So
they're geared up for that.
Yeah, and Linnea tells him about her cousin Henry, who owns an airboat tour business or something, that like, hey, he'll give you a killer deal if you go down there and, you know, drop my name or just, you know, whatever. So of course they all decide to go and cue up the annoying driving montage filled with fucking POV shots and selfie shots and just everybody just, and Tyler throwing out like a douche.
I muted it.
It's off. It's one of the most obnoxious scenes ever. It's just another like, woo, yeah, bro, yeah.
So this is kind of like a running theme, and it's gonna be a running theme to the whole movie. Is that when they're in the bar, there's scenes where they're just talking over each other the whole time, and then they're in the cars driving, and they're just talking over each other the whole time. They're not moving the story forward. They're not saying anything interesting dialogue. There's no humor. It's just loud, annoying talking. And they just keep showing off tits, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like...
It was like for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I will say this movie does have an abundance of titties and ass. I mean, that's like the only thing this movie has going for it. And I think that's where, like, they realize, like, you know, we got to show a lot of tits or nobody's going to watch this movie. We got to keep their interest somehow. So, we like, every 5 minutes there's tits.
Keep those titties coming, man.
like the tits, I don't know, movie time ratio is through the roof in this movie. So, anyway, they arrive at the airboat tour place, and when they get out of the cars, I noticed that the filmmakers, I just find it funny, but they had to blur out, like, the word Jeep Wrangler on the side of the Jeep.
And license plates.
Yeah, it's like, really? I maybe kind of get license plates if it's, like, a personal car. But I've never seen anybody else, like, blur out, like, you don't see anybody blurring out Ford on a car.
They didn't have a permit. They didn't have a permit. They were just shooting.
And I'm not saying a permit, but they certainly didn't have, like, product plate that they didn't want to go, Jeep might sue us.
Yeah.
So as they approach the building, they notice that there's a storm blowing. It's like, you know, gray, dark clouds are coming in. They find Henry, tell him that his cousin sent him down here. Henry's this older man, and after he comes up with like this like old Southern guy, he was like got a bit of an accent, makes him a little hard to understand.
Yeah.
But he comes off like kind of basically a nice guy with a sense of humor. He jokes about the girls.
Good old boy swamp person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a fine enough fella. So Henry tells him that due to the bad weather, they shut down for the day. But Tyler's like, dude, bro. Dude, bro. We just drove all the way down here, man. Like,
we drove half an hour.
Yeah, half an hour.
Oh, a whopping half an hour.
And basically, he convinces them, he bribes them with some extra cash, and he's like, all right, fine, I'll take you out. So they load up in the airboat, off they go. And then we get another montage of them cruising through the swampy marshland.
And again, it's just loud. Woo! Bah.
Yeah, more selfie shots.
Yeah.
Every so often, Henry will stop to show them something like, you know, like a snake or a gator nest or just, you know, basic tourist stuff. Eventually, they come upon an old, abandoned, rundown lodge. And Henry tells them the story behind the lodge, that it was built back in like the 50s or something as a hunter's lodge. And that over the years, lots of people have been hurt out here, or some have even died. And now people won't go in there due to like the urban legends and like the bad karma that people think surround it.
And you just did a better job of explaining it than he did, because he just rambles and rambles and rambles over that. He basically rambles about that same kind of shtick you just said, but it's so poorly done. I don't think it was ever written down for him. They never gave him a script to say, tell a story about that being kind of a creepy place and how you don't go by there.
Yeah, you're
That's
probably
my
right.
guess, because it sounded like he was just all freeballing.
You know, the way you said it, you're probably right. I kind of think you might be on something there, because looking back on it, thinking back on it, he probably was just trying to improvise his way through it.
Because people were talking over him, interrupting him, and he'd just kind of roll back into it, and it seemed so chaotic.
Yeah.
Incredibly chaotic.
I'll give you that one, for sure. No. Then Henry follows up saying, okay, the bad weather's coming in. It's getting good dark soon. It's time to head back. So, but, oh no, the airboat won't start up this time. And now the more Henry tries to start it, the more he seems to be having health issues. And the dudes don't seem to give a shit about Henry.
Yeah, well, one of them kind of does allude that he thinks is a gag. He's like,
Tyler.
He's like, all right, we're at the scary cabin. We get it. You won't start. Come on, man. Just let's go.
Yeah. And Henry ends up falling to the floor of the boat, seemingly dying from a heart attack, even though he's grabbing his right arm instead of his left arm, which is everybody knows that.
Yeah.
The telltale.
And
heart.
again, it's just chaos.
Yeah, it's everybody yelling and cursing. And
everyone's just screaming and screaming and screaming and yelling, and I was like, is this a fucking guy falling over and dying? Because I couldn't tell exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Because it was so loud and chaotic, and there's no form.
No.
There's no direction.
You know what this reminded me of a lot? It reminded me a lot of scenes from Trapdoor. Because it's just the same thing. Like everybody's just yelling and cursing, trying to yell louder than the other person.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it's so
not
annoying.
as fun.
Oh, that's a ballsy statement there, dude. Bold. Just saying that Trapdoor was more fun than this.
Well,
I don't know. I still think this is...
Well, there's at least a lot of tits in this one.
Yeah. So now the group, like I said, they break out. Okay, they're angry at the situation, trying to figure out what to do. I notice now it goes from like still light outside to like completely dark in a matter of like seconds.
So they're trying to restart the boat. One of them, Tyler, gets the walkie-talkie. He's like, hello, I don't know how to use this shit. Like,
who doesn't know how to use a walkie-talkie? You push the button.
There's different channels.
Yeah.
You try the different ones.
It's like the easiest thing in the world.
I know. But it's like, it's just like, they're suddenly just extra retarded.
Yeah.
Like, there's an extra dose of retarded that just all of a sudden hit. It's like when the bass drop hits, or like when you're tripping or something, those on boom. It's like, oh, now I'm extra retarded. It was just, I'm like watching this guy. Oh my god.
So of course the group decides to head to the Hunter's Lodge for the night, and they all wade through the swamp to make their way to the lodge.
And while wading through the swamp, it's just chaos and screaming and yelling and
again, I can't emphasize that. It went from like daylight to like pitch black in a matter of like seconds. As soon as they reach solid ground again, Tyler straight up attacks Derek and just tackles him to the ground, because Tyler is blaming Derek, saying that this was all his idea to come up here. The fight's quickly broken up. Even though Tyler was the one who was, if I think correctly, Tyler, they were both pretty much like, it was like a 50-50. Like, they were both like, yeah, let's do this.
He's the guy who talked Henry into going.
Yeah, and he's the one who
gave him more money. Yeah.
It's really more Tyler's fault. Everybody else was like, all right, I guess we leave. So,
yeah, they get to the cabin.
And then they fight over whether or not they should actually go inside of it or not.
And the whole time, again, I'm sorry, I keep going back to it. It's just constant yelling over each other and talking over each other, and there's no like direction, or there's no script.
No.
It's obvious there's no script. It's like, okay, guys, just be scared and go run up there and talk a lot.
I think so too. And then Tyler's yelling at the girls to shut up and keep their voices down so no one hears them, which again makes zero sense.
Because they've been yelling the entire time.
Yeah, you're out in the middle of the Everglades, in the middle of north. People are going to, sound travels, they're going to hear you. And second of all, it's an abandoned place. There's nobody there to hear you. You know,
all they're doing is screaming the whole time.
Yeah. They manage to get inside. They find a lantern that which they use it for light. And Marcus and Derek, they go off to find a way to turn on the power.
They find a generator.
Yeah. And we cut to a man with one of those like flashlights you wear on your head. He's like waiting.
Like
he's
spelunker kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. And he's wading through the swamp. And it turns out it's Henry. Now, Henry wades up to the small rowboat, saying that this is truly a chance of a lifetime, boys. And in the boat are two men, Hank and Otis, who are Henry's sons. And they're sharpening machetes while Henry tells them about the college kids and how they swore he was dead. And
I fooled them good.
Yeah. And the two sons talk about how excited they are about this group of kids. And we go back to Marcus and Derek, who now have made their way to like the back of this. This isn't just a honey lot. This is like a full-on like complex.
Yeah, it's big. It's got like
big.
several buildings.
Yeah, it's all connected by like
walkways.
Boardwalk, walkways. Yeah. So they find a generator in this back building, and they manage to get it working. The power, get the power back to the lodge, and they head back to the main group. Meanwhile, Henry and his sons, they're getting ready. Henry tells them to do it just like I taught him, and don't fuck it up. And then they start quietly like rowing the boat towards the lodge. Tyler finds several jars of moonshine.
And all of a sudden, it's party time.
Oh, yeah.
There's like no care in the world.
Nope.
It doesn't matter that they're stranded in the middle of the Everglades swamp. It doesn't matter that someone just died on their watch.
Nope.
It doesn't matter they're all freaking out that they don't have any cell phone reception. They can't get a hold of anyone.
It doesn't matter.
It's fucking moonshine time.
I wish I had a rock soundbite right now.
It was retarded.
Oh, yeah. And what makes it makes even more of a party is because Derek pulls out a little pill jar filled with the weed, and which really gets the party going. So they got like an endless supply of moonshine and weed.
Oh yeah, they talk about look at all this moonshine, and the place is like decorated, and the power is working, and it's not that dirty. I mean, it's cluttered and stuff.
It's cluttered. Yeah,
you'd say there's probably someone who's been here or will be here very soon.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good So Otis and Hank reach dry land, around the lodge, and they start sneaking their way up to it. Inside, Jocelyn, I think it's Jocelyn.
Again, don't really know their names.
No, she's the girl in the skimpiest and sluttiest bikini.
Holy shit! I have to tip my cap. Thank you for wearing that. Because it's ridiculous.
It's not even like a thong. It's a straight like G-string. It's like it's the ass floss that's going up her ass.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else is wearing like regular bikini bottoms.
It's like the tiniest little upside down pizza triangle that's covering her vagina too.
It's straight up stripper wear. Like I've never seen a bikini that's screaming that somebody would actually wear in public,
like swimming.
Yeah,
because they showed her splashing around the ocean at the beginning scene.
Yeah,
and that
it's
little
basically something like you would wear for like modeling shoots or like if you're a stripper.
Yeah.
So she suddenly gets a headache and decides to go outside for fresh air. So Leah decides to go with her, and they both go outside on the porch. They pop a squat on the steps, and they start talking while the others are inside drinking and smoking joints.
And again, their dialogue is so like just it's got to be ad-libbed.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah,
I don't feel good. I'm sorry, I don't feel good. I didn't want to come on this. I'm sorry we came on this. Yeah. I don't feel good. I know. That's kind of what it was like.
Inside, Tony with an eye finds a boombox which she plugs in and turns on, so they have some sweet tunes to party to. And now we get montage number 3, the party montage.
And again,
3 montages in like the first half hour of this movie.
And it's just, woo! Drink,
party, drink,
woo,
smoke,
tits, woo! Shake some boobs.
Yeah, it's... outside, Jocelyn and Leah continue to talk, and we see it's either Otis or Hank, because at this point, I don't know which one's which.
It doesn't fucking matter.
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. Crawling on his stomach underneath the porch, creeping up on the girls from below. He grabs Jocelyn by the ankles and just pulls her down and drags her underneath the porch. Now, instead of running back inside, even though the door is directly behind her, like 2 feet away from
and
her.
again, screaming super loud.
Leah decides to run screaming around the corner and smacks Dab right into the other brother, who easily just slits her throat and drags her body away.
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking kidding? The girl, you just saw a friend get dragged underneath the porch by something, and instead of running into the front door,
instead of just turning around and going in the door
where everybody else is, and holy shit, guys, help or something, you run around the corner and like
you run
off
farther away.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This is so bad.
And they're right outside the door screaming as loud as they can.
And the music playing isn't that loud.
No, it's not.
And they're right on the other side of like a thin door, like a thin wooden wall. It's clearly would easily been heard. And it's not just one girl; they're both screaming.
Right.
So, like I said, of course, no one inside hears the girls on the other side of the door. So next, Nicole decides that she has to go take a shower right now to rinse off all the swamp water, even though she's like bone dry.
Yeah.
So
even though they were walking through a swamp that was up to their knees.
Yeah.
It's like she's like, oh, I gotta wash off all the swamp water.
I'm so dirty.
Yeah. And touch my knees.
She takes Patrick with her to go find the shower or a hose to rinse off with. They do happen to find in one of these outdoor showers. Nicole has Patrick turn around while she strips down naked to take a shower. And she keeps talking about how covered in mud she is, but she's totally clean. There's not a drop of dirt on her, not a speck. So, and also, this shower takes fucking forever. She has no soap, no shampoo. She's just rinsing off, and it takes like 20 minutes.
It's bad.
Inside, Tanya and Marcus decide to head off to the bunkhouse to fuck, which that's basically that's it. We're gonna go fuck in the bunkhouse.
Yeah, which is another building off the path. Like, again, big place, big complex.
Yeah. I mean, it's something like you've seen like a Resident Evil game. You're running down one building to another, down a boardwalk, and going, here's the bunkhouse, here's the main house, here's the generator room.
Right. Dude, that's a fantastic description. This should be like Resident Evil the Swamp.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of Resident Evil 7. You haven't played it, but people have played it. It kind of reminds me of like old rundown wooden buildings, and like there's a swampy section. It's just straight out Resident Evil 7.
Or kind of like Left 4 Dead 2, like the swamp level.
Yeah.
Kind of like that too.
Yeah. Kind of. So they pick out their bed and they go fucking it. Meanwhile, Nicole, still in the shower, constantly saying, "You better not be looking at me. I'm almost done."
Now,
she says that like 5 times, so she's obviously not almost done because you're taking forever.
Yeah. And this is something that kind of bugs me too. You think she would be? He's got his back turned. You think she would be looking at him to make sure he doesn't turn around and look?
Great point.
But she has her back turned to him.
Yeah,
he has her back turned to her.
Yeah, they're neither one of them was facing each other.
And you think she'd be looking at him, going, "Hey, don't turn around! I see you turn around." You know, that makes way more sense.
That does make 100 in real life. That would be that's what would happen. Yeah. That's 100% correct.
And also, while the black couple, I don't remember their names, while the black couple is walking to the bunkhouse, they like reach out and jump scare her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you guys.
Come on, guys, I'm naked."
She doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't give a shit if the black guy sees her naked, but Patrick can't see her naked. Nope. No. So while Nicole's taking her sweet ass time wasting water, Patrick gets grabbed from behind by one of the brothers and chloroformed, dragged away behind Nicole's back. She turns around, Patrick's nowhere in sight. We cut back to Marcus and Tanya, who are now, they've finished their fucking. He gets up and leaves the bunkhouse to go piss off a bridge so she can have the bathroom to herself. And Marcus gets grabbed from behind by one of the other brothers. The brother covers Marcus's head in a plastic bag and begins to suffocate him for a bit then he just ends up drowning Marcus in a metal tub that just happens to be there and full of water.
This was weird because he's suffocating him with the plastic, but then he himself pokes a hole in the plastic so he can breathe again, says something like, "You ready to swim, fishy?" and dunks his head in this tank of water that just happens to be there, which is about maybe knee high to waist high.
I'd say it's maybe 3 feet high.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it looks like almost like one of those like a small hydrotherapy tub or
right,
something.
like you just kind of squat in it.
Because they had I didn't notice they had like a temperature dial or something on
it.
it.
Thermometer on it, yeah. But I get it. He drowns him in there. I don't like the kill.
No.
Because I feel like while the guy was a little bit bigger than Marcus, I think he'd be able to squirm away, push himself out of that.
I agree. Marcus was he was no schmub. He wasn't like...
he was in shape.
Patrick's the skinniest of the guys, but Marcus was still... He was fairly tall, and he was in decent shape.
It would have made a whole lot more sense if he kept the plastic around his mouth and then shoved him in there. Like, because he's already halfway suffocated, and then you put him underwater, Yeah.
It's a shitty kill.
It's
no matter how
horrible kill.
The whole thing is garbage. Hot pile garbage. And so then Marcus is dead. He just throws the body in the tub and
tucks the body in the water.
Yep, and walks away. Tanya comes out of the bathroom. She gets startled by a naked Nicole who shows up looking for Patrick. Tanya gets a towel for Nicole to wrap up in, and the girls think the guys they're hiding, trying to scare them. Oh, they're just out there. They're trying to scare us. They're going to play blah, blah, blah. In come the brothers. One of them hits Tanya in the eye with a hammer.
Fucking hammer.
Which, even though it's super fast, like blink, you'll miss it. It's probably one of the best effects in the movie.
Yeah, because it looks like part of her. I mean, it's like a big splat.
It looks
of blood.
like her skull is cracked open. But she drops to the floor like a sack of nails as the other brother attacks Nicole. They hogtie Nicole, rip off her towel while they're just laughing and hooting and hollering. Yeah.
And yelling as
Again,
loud as they
nobody
can.
hears this.
Nobody hears a thing. The girls screaming. Everyone just screaming.
Yeah. So, and again, it's bullshit that nobody hears. It's out in the middle of nowhere where sound is going to travel. I don't care if there's music playing. You're going to hear that shit
You
easily.
might disregard one or two screams, but the amount and overall loudness of all the screaming that's been going on.
Yeah,
it's like you can't excuse this anymore.
I totally agree. It's nonsense. So they hogtie Nicole, rip off her towel, like I said, while they're laughing. Now the brother that's sitting on top of Nicole, they're like she's like face down and ass up, and he's mounted her from behind, and he grabs her by the hand and just starts repeatedly smashing her head into the floorboards until she's out cold. And you fade to black, and we go back to the rest of the group who's still hanging out in the main lodge, smoking, drinking. Anna, Tyler's girl, begins to feel sick and she wants to go to bed. So she and Tyler now leave, leaving Tony with an eye and Derek alone. Anna and Tyler, they find a bedroom in the main lodge. They don't go to the bunkhouse. They find a bedroom in the main building.
This is like a Shangri-La of swamp people.
This is like the swamp people mansion. Like, again, it's insane. So they lie on the bed. Anna just wants to go to sleep, but Tyler, being the douchey bro, he just wants that booty and refuses to take no for an answer.
Yep. Oh, you're gonna throw up? Come on, baby. Just throw up on the side of the bed. You'll be fine. Classy guy.
We cut back to Nicole and Tanya. Nicole wakes up next to Tanya on the floor, both face down. Tanya is also hogtied now, and the other brother's on top of her. So they each have...
Yeah, so...
The girls are screaming.
They come to, they're both hogtied. Everyone's screaming again.
Yeah. And one of them is like howling like a wolf.
Yeah.
And the brother on Tanya pulls out a knife and just stabs her in the gut, killing her. Like, not repeat, just one stab, and just kind of holds the knife there, and she dies.
Was Amir's blood just like...
Yeah.
Just spraying out everywhere.
For once, they which really makes sense. Like, maybe if you pull the knife out, it would spray, but he just leaves the knife in the knife. The blood would not be spraying everywhere.
We're looking at him like, what the fuck is going on?
The other brother then grabs a sledgehammer and just repeatedly slams it into the back of Nicole's head until her skull breaks open, splitting her head in two. And that one is pretty brutal.
It's pretty good effect.
It's pretty brutal. The brothers get up and they just leave the bunkhouse.
They hogtied him. They hogtied the one girl. They hogtied the other. They wait for him to wake up, and then just to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? Like,
why
didn't you do that
earlier?
You
could just killed him. Why waste your time knocking him out and then waiting for him to come to? Like, just kill him immediately.
Like, you're you're awake now. Scared again.
Yeah, again, this movie is so dumb.
They were terrified before.
Dumb.
God damn it.
Oh, God. So, at this point, I finally figured out which brother is which. Hank is the taller, skinnier one, while Otis is the shorter, heavier one. Hank tells Otis that he has a gift for him all tied up in the red room. So Otis goes off to find his present.
Yeah, they even have special rooms.
Yeah, it's like a red light district. It's
It is the red light district.
Yeah, it is. Turns out that his present is a tied up and nearly unconscious Patrick propped up against some shelves. Otis forces Patrick to wake up and shoves an apple in his mouth like a fucking roasted pig. And now the film gets real deliverance-y here.
Yeah.
Otis says to Patrick that, I know you're scared. You're scared you might like this. And he goes on to say, don't worry about liking it. I'm going to make you hate it. I hope you gave your heart to Jesus because your ass is mine. And that's the gist of it. And with that, Otis pulls down Patrick's pants or underwear and just fucks him up the ass.
And it's pretty graphic.
It is pretty graphic. It's pretty brutal.
Pretty rapey.
It's extremely rapey.
I mean, it's like, you're right. Not pretty rapey. It's fucking rapey.
It's real rapey.
Real rapey.
And then right as Otis comes in Patrick's ass, he pulls out this large knife and just stabs the shit out of Patrick's back.
Just starts stabbing him in the back real fast.
Yeah, it's like, and then just drops the knife like he's dropping the mic. Just drops the knife and walks away with his pulling his pants up. And it just leaves him there.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So we go back to Tony and Derek's. They're still hanging out. She tells Derek to take his weed smoking outside so she doesn't get a secondhand high, which fucking makes zero sense. Because she's been
smoking. She's been sitting in this smoke-filled room
for like 20 to 30 minutes now with more than one person smoking. But now she's suddenly worried about secondhand highs and smoke. Fucking dumb. Regardless, Derek, he leaves. He goes outside to smoke on the porch. Meanwhile, Tyler, he gets pissed off for Anna because Anna still won't put out, so he leaves.
Fuck you then, bitch.
Yeah, fuck you. He goes back to see Tony, who he instantly tries to fuck. I mean, he practically rapes this girl on the table.
Yeah, she's just like, no. And
he's like, whatever, man. Like, oh, we're gonna do this. She yells at him to stop. And we basically find that she fucked Tyler behind Derek's back. And we also learned that Tony and Derek have not had sex yet, which means that Tyler is the baby daddy. Because remember, Tony's the one who was pregnant from the beginning.
And guess what? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who fucking cares?
But it's the big reveal.
Again, so
the one thing that is probably the most unbelievable thing about this is that she wasn't fucking her boyfriend already.
Yeah,
that part doesn't make any sense.
That's a great If she's fucking some other guy but won't fuck her boyfriend, then I agree. Again, this movie's just dumb with a capital D. Back in the bedroom, Hank creeps into the bed with Anna, who of course she thinks is Tyler. That is until she turns her head and he just grabs her and mounts her. Hank beats the living shit out of her. I mean, there is nothing fun. There's no finesse in kill here. He mounts her. He's straight up like ground and pound like a UFC fighter.
So I mean, I gotta give this kill some credit here. Honestly, I kind of liked it because it shows him getting on top of her, like punching, and then it shows a POV of kind of like her. And he's like throwing these fists down. He's throwing them pretty violently.
Yeah, and that's not even the best part.
The great thing about it is that it's a cheap way to make it look good because she's obviously not there.
Yeah,
but he's punching it so hard that you're just like Jesus fucking Christ. But then he starts like headbutting down.
Yes, thank you. Like he punches you. That's when he starts viciously headbutting her with reckless abandon.
Yeah,
just headbutt, and he just beats her to death.
Yeah.
And then he just gets up and walks out of the bedroom. Outside, Derek has wandered off the porch down to the water line where we see a shot of a python in the darkness and the snake begins to slither closer to Derek. Derek now becomes Mr. Butterfingers and drops his phone and joint into the water.
Because his phone rings.
Yep.
His phone rings.
Even though earlier, nope, I don't have
all they
signal.
talked about is how they
signal.
don't have cell phone service. Don't have service.
And they didn't want to waste their
And all of a
battery on
sudden,
anything.
Ring, ring, ring.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so he just drops his phone in the water, just bloop. And
That just made me so. I mean,
yeah, it's
mother.
like I said,
Fucker.
D with a done with a capital D. So he bends over and starts feeling around underneath the water for his phone. The python strikes out, pulls Derek into the water. Derek tries to swim away, but the snake apparently has arms or something because it pulls him back in and starts to wrap itself around Derek. And
it's not quite how it works.
No, it's not at all. Hank and Otis have popped up now, and they're just watching this happen and laughing. Like,
they're
laughing.
The
snake's got him. Look
Check
at
it
that.
out, man. He's got him.
While Derek's getting constricted more and more by the python. Tony and Tyler hear the brothers laughing.
Finally, somebody hears something.
Finally, somebody hears something.
When there's 2 guys screaming,
nothing. When there's 4 people screaming, nothing. But when it's just 2 guys laughing, yeah. So what do? Well, I'll tell you what. Oh God. I'll tell you what they don't do. What they should do and what they don't do. What they don't do is lock the doors and barricade themselves in for safety or even try to hide. That's what they don't do.
No.
What they do is they decide to run straight out that front door and right into the 2 brothers.
Just charge right into
Charge
them.
right out. Tony is quickly just tossed to the ground, and Otis is standing over with like a pitchfork, keeping her from moving or anything like that. Now, I will give Tyler some credit here because he does try to fight back. He charges Hank. He tackles him to the ground.
He gets the upper hand.
They're rolling around. Each of them is landing a few punches. Tyler manages to get the upper hand and the upper position, but the numbers are too great for him because Hank just calls out for like, Otis, get over here. And Otis comes up from behind Tyler and just stabs him in the back with a pitchfork, killing him.
Tyler's dead.
Tyler's dead. So now you would think this might free up Tony to make a run for it, but nope. She just lies on the ground screaming like a helpless little bitch.
You almost had a little bit of swamp person lying there like a hopeless little bitch.
The brothers surround Tony as as the screen gets blurry and fades to black, which I'm guessing is supposed to represent Tyler dying because it's shot from like a little bit distance on the ground. So I'm guessing that's supposed to be like him dying.
Him fading away into the black nothingness.
Now the movie gets real fucking dumb and confusing. We fade in on a bonfire as 2 men in black hooded robes tie a naked Tony to an upside down cross. And Tony comes to, she's screaming, but she's gagged. Now forming like this half circle around the bonfire are 4 large red banners attached to posts, and about 2 dozen candles form a circle around the base.
Candles.
Yeah, candles around the base of the upside down cross. The men finish securing Tony to the cross, and they raise it up like a fucking Ku Klux Klan burning.
Right, but she's inverted.
But it's upside down.
She's upside down, and this is when I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck's happening?
Where are we going with this?
She's hanging upside down, completely naked. I mean, you see everything. A third man in a dark red, like almost maroonish covered color robe, stands in front of Tony. The guy's also wearing some sort of mask. I think it's supposed to be an animal mask, but I can't tell what the fuck it is.
Burlap Sap, same guy from the very beginning?
I think the guy in the sack was just one of the brothers.
See, that's why I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what the fuck is with the mask?
Yeah, it's like a weird animal mask. I don't know what it is. I can't make it out. The masked man, he takes a knife from one of the other men, slices his...
no one's hooting and hollering.
No,
it's
real,
all ceremonial.
Like ritual, and like very
everything's
quiet.
Deliberate. Go on.
He slices the palm of his hand, and I think he lets the blood flow in like a golden goblet.
Like a goblet, yeah.
And then the masked man approaches Tony. He draws a cross on her forehead in blood, like a priest would, at
Father, Son, Holy Ghost
communion or something.
Yeah.
He then takes the knife, walks behind Tony. He reaches around her from behind and then slices her open along the stomach. This, I will say, is a good effect. It's very brutal looking. Like, it's done very well, I would say. The blood is pouring out. It's just running down Tony's body and over her face. She's screaming and
kind
crying.
Kind of choking on it and she's like...
But eventually she can't even do that anymore. She starts, just fading, and she just hangs there twitching.
He starts reaching in, pulling stuff out.
Yeah, oh, god damn it. I hate this so much. Yeah, he reaches inside of her stomach, and I shit you not, he pulls out a fucking fetus, and with a hard yank, he snaps the umbilical cord off. He carries the fetus by the umbilical cord,
and they even show it like in the firelight, in the campfire light.
And he's holding it
because I was like, is it a kidney? It can't be. It can't be. And I'm like, nope, it fucking is.
It fucking is. He stands there next to the fire for a moment with his arm like stretched out completely, holding the fetus up, and then like with his other hand, he's kind of like feeling it, like
looking
turning
at
it around, and then he looks at one last time, and then he just drops it into the fire. He drops the fetus into the fire. Roll credits.
That's it.
That's it. What the fuck did I just watch? I mean, seriously, what the shit, man? That's how this movie ends? It makes zero fucking sense. This ending makes me so mad. So mad. Like, what?
Are these hillbilly Satanists? Like, what's going on?
Normally, if you're going to worship or sacrifice a saint, it's always like a virgin sacrifice, not a pregnant or a fetus. Which, by the way, if she's only like 2 months pregnant, the fetus would be...
It'd be like a pinhead.
It'd be like a pea.
Yeah.
It'd be like a weird little pea. And this thing is like the size of like a giant... It's like a kidney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
It was, like... 3-4 months probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way her belly is completely
because man, she is sexy as hell.
She's
super, got zero bump.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? Like,
god damn it.
Oh, and first of all, how did they know she's even pregnant in the first place? Like, they have no way of knowing that.
No, they would have no way.
Do they just keep killing him to pull things up? Oh, no fetus in this one. We got to try again. Go give me another one. Like, nothing about this ending makes any or has anything to do with the movie.
None.
Nothing in this movie makes even builds to this. Nothing. Like, you look back and and that would mean this. Nope. It's like they had two different movies. Like, they shot this piece of crap movie, and they're like, oh, you know what? We have an ending from this movie.
Yeah.
Why don't we just tack it on to this one and call it a day?
Sure.
Like, that's kind of what it felt like. It's like an ending from a completely different movie they just stapled onto the back end of this one. It's... Oh my... I can't... I want to rant and rave about this some more, but I know we can't. But god damn...
So that's it. That's Lake Fear 2.
The Swamp.
The Swamp.
Jesus Christ. So, alright, let's move on to favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
Alright, favorite kills. Aaron, what do you got this week?
I gotta give him some credit for the low budget ridiculousness of this movie. Their kills weren't that bad. Their kills were okay. You know, we've seen much worse kills.
True.
We've seen much better movies.
I don't know. The kill... I'm not going to...
We've seen better movies with worse kills. Like, the kill with the sledgehammer was pretty good. The finale kill was pretty good. Even the crossbow bolt through the back of the neck was incredibly bloody and kind of helped. I was like, well, that's a pretty good looking kill. So, I mean, there were some decent kills. And, like, the fist punch, it was like they had... For what they had, they did pretty good with their kills. So I'm going to have to go with my favorite kill being the finale. Because it was so bonkers and so weird. And the chick's all sweaty, upside down on this cross. Like, all naked and shiny. Like, they, like, oiled her up, too. And I'm just like, am I turned on or disgusted? A little bit of both. This is really hard to watch. But I'm still watching. Because I don't know what's going to... Oh, shit. They just... Oh, it was something to behold. It was something. My favorite.
You're
kill.
right. It was something. It was something. I kind of disagree. I think the kills are pretty lame for the most part. Like, I've seen. I'm not saying they weren't done poorly. They were just lame. Like, Marcus gets drowned. Whoopity doo.
Yeah.
You know, Tanya gets stabbed. Whoopity-doo. Tyler gets stabbed in the back with a pitchfork. Whoopity-doo. There's nothing, there wasn't anything really special about any of them. Were the effects decent when they... Yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But the kills themselves were kind of... for me, the scariest kill for me personally, even though it's the worst kill in the movie, is Derek getting killed by a snake, which makes zero fucking sense. Because I have a giant fear of snakes that borderlines on phobia.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so I saw that. That was like, ah! Ah! No! That's like my worst nightmare.
It was lame as that one was shitty.
But
That
it was
horrible.
But it is. It was so bad. Like
Yeah.
the snake looked, but it just like so bad.
Rubber snake.
Yeah, and the fact that like really you can't have Otis and just somebody kill this asshole's gonna get eaten by a snake or restricted by a snake.
I do like that they were kind of laughing at it about it though.
Yeah. But the other one, to me, like the worst way to go, I think would have to have been fucking Patrick, man. Just anally raped, viciously anally raped, and then just stabbed,
Yeah.
and just like left there with cum dripping out your ass and stabbed. It's like Jesus Christ.
So which one's your favorite kill?
I don't know. I can't. After talking about it, the end, I hate. The end makes zero fucking sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. But it was a spectacle.
It was a spectacle.
I haven't really seen anything like that, honestly.
Yeah, God, now you make me want to lean that way. But I originally coming out, I was probably gonna go Patrick, the anal rape and the stab, because that's just brutal.
Yeah,
that's fucking awful way to go. But the ending scene was, it was a spectacle. I'll give you that one. All right, we'll call it whatever. I'll say Patrick.
All right,
with a very, very close second as Tony at the end. All right, let's move on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
This is going to go real quick this week, guys. Ratings. IMDb gives it a 6.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, nothing. It's not even on the site, so there's 0 there. With Amazon giving it a 3 out of 5. Plot keywords, 0.
None.
Trivia, none.
None.
But because, like I said, this is going really fucking quick this week, I decided to bring back our horrible horror educational moment for the week.
Sweet.
So instead of trivia, we're going to get Burmese python facts.
All right, lay it on me.
Because it played a part in the movie.
It's the whole premise for them going to the swamp. It's a stupid Burmese python.
Which, when I read this, I'm like, even the premise really doesn't make sense. Like, it's kind of dumb. So, all right, first of all, the Burmese python is one of the, oh my God, it cut off half this. It's one of the largest, top 3 largest snake species in the world. In the wild, Burmese pythons grow to be about 12 feet, 2 inches on average. While specimens of more than 13 feet are uncommon, the females are larger than the males. The record maximum length for a Burmese python is held by a female named Baby that lived at Safari Savannah or something like that in Gurnee, Illinois for 27 years. This snake lived for 27 years.
That's a long time.
Shortly after the baby's death, her actual length was determined to be 18 feet 10 inches long, while widely published data of specimens that reportedly have been several feet longer are not verified, so nothing's verified to be any longer than that. The python invasion has been particularly extensive, notably across southern Florida, where a large number of pythons can now be found in the Everglades. So that part is true. That's true.
Okay, yeah.
It has been suggested the current number of Burmese pythons in the Florida Everglades has reached about 2,000 or more and have become, hold on a second. I forget. Well, for some reason, my notes, the font messed up, so I got like gaps in my notes and it didn't print out.
Weird.
It's really weird. So I'm kind of having to patch this together as I go. Part of the reason why the population explosion is responsible for is the destruction of a python breeding facility and zoo, where they say the escaped snakes spread and populate into the areas of the Everglades, along with people keeping them as pets, and then they grow too big, so they just carelessly release them. More than 1,330 snakes have been captured in the Everglades. The importation of Burmese pythons was banned in the United States back in January of 2012, so you can't even import them anymore. Exceptionally large pythons may require larger food items such as pigs or goats, and to have known and attacked and eaten deer and or gators and adult deer in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, concerning Derek's scene, this is where I had issues with, because it's a big party. It's an actual death scene. Burmese pythons, like I said, famous invaders of Florida Everglades, can take down animals as large as alligators and deer, which I just said. But these snakes possess little to no threat to humans, and it's rare that pythons will ever attack people without first being provoked. Scientists and herpetologists have been on record saying. Researchers solicited reports of unprovoked snake attacks in the Everglades National Park over a period of 10 years. Of the 5 incidents in 10 years, they compiled all the attacks involved field biologists conducting research in remote flooded areas of the park. 2 of the attacks resulted in minor puncture wounds, while the other incidents caused 0 harm.
Either minor puncture wounds or nothing.
The strikes did not appear to be defensive. That they are more likely associated with aborted feeding behavior. The study writer says a wildlife biologist, and Bob Reed said in a statement. In other words, the snakes may have seen these biologists as potential meals and had tried to attack, acting on some visual or thermal cue because the heat sensory, only to quickly realize that humans would be too big to eat. Because humans were far too large for most snakes to ingest, because of the strikes were aborted before making contact, and because none resulted in constriction attempts, we tentatively suggest that these were cases of mistaken identity. Reed goes on to say, and they write in the report, what's more, if the pythons were attacking defensively, they would have struck in the front of the person, not the side or the rear, as was the case of these 5 reported incidents. So additionally, pythons rely on being secretive, and evading detection is their primary means of avoiding interactions with people, and typically don't strike until provoked. Between 1978 and 2009, large constricting snakes killed 16 people in the United States. At least 7 of these deaths were attributed to captive Burmese pythons, so people handling them improperly or not feeding them.
Probably being hammered drunk, too.
Yeah. In the wild, the species seemed to pose little to 0 threat to people worldwide. They only found 1 report of free-ranging Burmese python fatality, the death of an infant in Hong Kong, which happened over a century ago.
Okay.
So, again, Derek would not be killed by this fucking snake.
It doesn't make any sense. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, snake wouldn't just come up and just attack him.
And dispatch him so fast.
Yeah, and even if he did, again, he'd be like, oh, you're not my meal.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Later.
Yeah. You're too big to eat. And
I got a little piece of... It's kind of funny because I wanted to say a little something, too. Whatever his name is, the guy who is watching the girl take the shower gets chloroformed from behind. You guys, your favorite kill.
Yeah, Patrick.
He gets chloroformed, right?
Right.
We've seen a few movies where people get chloroformed.
Yeah.
They get the rag over the mouth.
And they're out. Yeah.
So I'm like, if it works like in 10 seconds, like it always does in the movies, why don't people get more chloroformed all the fucking time?
Well, you would think so.
All the fucking time.
I would imagine it had to be something to do with availability of chloroform.
Because you can buy it online. You can buy buckets of it online. It's not hard to come by. Well, one of the reasons it doesn't work so well is because it takes someone about 5 minutes of deep inhaling for it to have any sort of effect. You could just get someone a rear naked choke and make it quicker.
Yeah, it would be quicker.
It'd be a lot quicker. 5 minutes.
No, it's always instantaneous. It really
5 minutes of breathing it in.
Wow.
God damn it. I was curious about that because I saw that and I'm just like, the kid's a tall, big kid, and he just...
Yeah.
It's not like one of the little girls. I'm just
No.
like, son of a bitch. I'm sitting here breaking it down. It's like, okay, how much does he have to inhale? And how does it affect his bloodstream? And if he keeps inhaling, would it kill him? I'm like, how does this work? And I'm like, I can't believe I've never thought of this before. So I looked it up, and I'm like, 5 fucking minutes. I can get this online? Shit.
yeah. You can buy this online. So he's like,
just buy chloroform.
Let's go get some chloroform. You probably won't even end up on anybody's radar either.
No, it's going to take him 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time
He'd be more effective like for the fucking belt behind someone.
Yeah.
If you can sneak up behind someone and put it on their face,
Yeah,
you could probably get him in a choke or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you easily could.
Ugh.
All right, so that's your educational mode. I know it's a little lengthy, but fuck it.
Yeah.
That was probably more interesting than the movie itself. All right, let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
There were 5-star reviews for this.
Assholes.
I wrote 1 5-star and 2 4 stars. From movie enthusiast, he writes, great throwback to old school slasher films. Love to see some hot chicks getting naked and killed in the Florida Everglades. Plus the MILF hunters in it. Side note, I heard there was no script for this film and it was completely organic. Pretty cool.
Well,
5 stars.
If that's true, he's right.
You might be right, so you're not the only
Yeah.
one who said something about that. I love the fact he gave it 5 stars because the MILF hunters in it.
That's kind of funny.
All right, 4-star reviews from Orson99. Enjoyed it. It was ballsy and dark. Pretty well made and very well casted given the budget constraints. A couple of the dudes are clowns and very bad actors, but I found the female casting to be well done. Decent acting all the way around. Good photography. Cool atmosphere from the location they were on. I personally enjoyed the nudity.
I personally enjoyed.
I'm a connoisseur of nudity. It was fairly extreme, but still executed well in my opinion. I hope these people make more movies like it. 4 stars.
Not quite 5.
And then lastly, I can hear certain voices post-Weinstein that would criticize this film for the heavy nudity. Save it. Not interested. These people most likely...
Hashtag me only.
These people most likely enjoyed the process of making this film. I would hope. And add to this the simple fact that there is still and always will be a market for provocative cinema, and really, it's okay. 4 stars.
Oh. Jesus.
Yeah. I personally enjoyed the nudity. What? And you're saying now that Harvey Weinstein, like, you can't have nudity in any movie now because of Harvey
this
Weinstein?
was made in 2015.
This was before Weinstein.
Yeah, this is way before.
Anyway, I messed that up. I don't know why I'm talking, because you can't see where I messed up. It's on my papers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, that's it. It's gonna be just a little shorter episode this week because this movie is dumb.
Well, let me
dumb.
Let me tell you all about
Yeah,
that.
Aaron, why don't you start wrapping this up?
Well, the reason it's short is because there's no direction. There's no story. It's so loose. It's just scene. There's hardly any story to it whatsoever. It had, again, we've said this kind of thing before. It had all the ingredients. Well, instead of saying and putting it into a food type of, the ingredients, if you will, I'm gonna say it had the body. It had the body of a horror movie, but they cut the fucking head off and someone just squirted around, wiggling and jiggling, and blood just squirting out because it's just a random, moving, ridiculous, herky-jerky, bloody, gutty mess. It doesn't. It's just. It's this weird headless body dying with tits flopping, trying to tell a story, and it's just not working. It's just a fucking mess. The whole movie's a mess.
Yeah.
It's just awful. It's just awful. This basically can kind of just say, this is why you write. This is why you write. Because it could have been halfway decent. Because, the layout of the swamp place was kind of interesting. If you had good writing, you could help make this a better movie. If you had more direction for the actors, who knows, maybe some of them are kind of good. But no, they're complete dog shit because they had nothing to work with. I can't really blame the actors too much. It's just a complete waste of time.
So you're saying so bad it's good?
Yeah. No. So bad it's scary. Don't waste your time. Don't watch it. You know what? Fast forward to the very last 3 minutes and watch that part and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because at least that's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. That's weird. And then that's it. That's all you need to watch. That's all you need to watch. Unless you want to see girls just going, ew, titties. But then just go watch Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
Because you see a whole bunch of Florida trash girls doing the same thing.
Yeah, you do. God, yeah. First of all, you touched on the point about a writing. Like, there's no right. In fact, this had 4 people credited as writers. What the fuck did they write? Girl A streams, girl B streams. Is that what they wrote? I mean, the writing is
non-existent.
Yeah, it's sad. Like 4 people were credited for writing this garbage. I will say the production value was pretty good. There were some spots where it was really dark. I should have commented on at the time, but there's the scenes where when they get off the airboat and they're going to the lodge where it's complete nighttime, they're walking up, but you could tell like they didn't have any lights. So they just have like, it's like the
cell
light
phone
from the
lights.
It's like the light from the camera is just shining around. You can see like this like flashlights. It's so inorganic.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's so bad. But yeah, it's awful. It had potential maybe, but this movie gave me a headache. It made me mad. The ending leads like just what? Like
it's completely different.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather watch whatever movie that was supposed to end originally.
Right.
Like what the hell?
What was that? That looks interesting.
I don't know.
Where was that?
I've lost my motivation. I can't even think. I have such a headache now from talking about this movie that I just want to go curl up in bed for like a week and just cry almost.
Jeez. Don't let it, man.
Don't let the movie beat me.
Don't.
The movie's not going to beat me.
Pleasure.
It's not going to beat me. No, this movie sucks. I don't watch it. There's plenty of tits, but you can see tits anywhere nowadays. The acting's bad. The writing's bad. The story's bad. The kills are okay, maybe, but even then, they're not that great to save the movie.
No.
So it's not like, oh, at least watch for the kills. No. The ending is a bunch of nonsensical bullshit that makes you even angrier that you watch the movie in the first place. I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Just skip it. Just totally skip it.
Just skip it. It just felt like they just what do people like? We're in the South. Okay, hillbillies killing people, and what do hillbillies do? They rape, and they're in the swamp, and now they're doing this.
Like it's free. Yeah, I say it's free, but don't even if it's free, don't waste your time. Like find something else to do. Go watch paint dry or something. It'd be more effective use of your time. So that's it. We're done. I'm wrapping this episode up.
You know what I would recommend go watch on Netflix? The End of the Fucking World. I watched that. It was delightful.
Or go watch Pool Party Massacre.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'll continue to plug that one for a bit.
Sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Remember, like Aaron said, if you want to support us, definitely give us 5 stars and rate us, review us on iTunes. That would help out much. But we'll be back in the future. We'll be back soon with another horror movie, that is. So in the meantime, guys, remember to watch more horror movies. And remember to keep it tight.